statement, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, these aren't beautiful paintings that we're creating here, but they're ending up in W's, and that's the most important thing. And obviously, we made a lot of mistakes late, some uncharacteristic mistakes by some pretty veteran guys. And having said all that, we execute some stuff. We missed a layup on a out of bounds play, a slip that we had set up, and missed a couple front ends, and had a foolish foul there late, and still found a way to win it. So in this league, you don't apologize for anything. You just take the W. Again, another good defensive effort by our team, and against a very physical Providence team. Obviously, they were impacted with Bynum's injury. Changed the way they had to play, but it also changed the way we had to play in terms of our preparation. So you take him out and you add Gant or Horchel to the mix, and they have so much more length, and it really we had to flip our defensive plan in terms of what we were trying to do because of that injury. So while I think it certainly hurt them because he had the ball in his hands a lot, it impacted us and what we had prepared to do as well.
All right, questions. Again, use the raise hand feature. We'll start with Matthew Reeves. All right. Question.
Hey, Mac, you explained the philosophy a lot over the years.
Use the raise hand feature. We'll start with Matthew Reeves.
Go ahead. I got you.
Sorry, there was an echo going. Okay. You've explained the philosophy a lot over the years, but can you take us through what's going through your mind after Horcher ties it up there to not call a timeout and let Marcus make a move?
Well, I was going to see what we had, and obviously you set up a timeout. You take the timeout. You don't know whether they're in man or zone on your side out of bounds. You're probably under 3 seconds or 4 seconds, and if you take it after the basket, you allow them to set up their press. So it's one of the best players in the country with the ball in his hands, and he gets it to 14, 15 feet. He's going to get to his pull up, or he's going to make a decision. And obviously, he made the right decision. You do that because that's how you practice. If you don't practice that way, then you have to take timeouts. If you let your guys play in practice, then that allows them to. They know they have the trust that I trust them to make the right play in those situations.
Okay, we'll go to John Niatala.
Greg, you mentioned some of the uncharacteristic mistakes, but maybe a little bit before that, there might have been a stretch offensively where it's kind of a weird spot, right, where you're trying to close the game out, but you still want to keep the gas pedal to the floor. What did you see just in terms of maybe like 5 minutes-ish left in terms of like getting those buckets that could have kept the lead where it was?
Yeah, I mean, 63-51, we had two wide open threes, one by Midge, one by Marcus on the same possession that we missed that, would have iced it. And then I think we had a turnover. DJ had a tough one in the paint. I know Denz missed one in the lane, and then I think Denzel had a wide open 3-point shot at the end of the shot clock, which was a perfect extra pass to him. So it's a couple of the foolish turnovers, and like I said, we missed a layup on an out of bounds play, and then we missed two front ends of 1-on-1. So we'll go back and evaluate it. Like I told the team, we made some mistakes that are very uncharacteristic of us that they're going to have the pleasure of watching Monday in the film room with me. We have to fix those, and that I don't need to tell them. Like DJ knows, like I can't foul that guy on a free throw rebound, and can't step in early on a free throw in that situation. So those are things that DJ knows, and it's almost comical to have someone that has played the game the way that he's played it for so long to make a couple mistakes like that. But it proves that he's human like everybody else. But you can look to that, or you can look to the 18 points, 6 steals, 8 rebounds, the way he had his fingerprints all over the game. And it was a pretty special game by him.
All right, well, Matt Foster.
Mac, I know Denzel's been so big for you guys this season, but today just kind of seemed like nothing would fall for him. What were you kind of saying to him in the huddle? Just keep shooting it, eventually it'll fall.
Well, yeah, and he had the assignment to guard Duke, and sometimes if your focus is there and you burn a lot of energy on that end, it's going to impact your offense. And I think today it did, especially with Bynum out. That put the ball in Duke's hands almost all the time. So now you don't get a chance to catch a breath because you're guarding him as he brings it up the floor. So while he didn't have his best offensive game, you know, I thought defensively he's done as good a job as anybody has this season on David Duke. And, you know, David Duke's a terrific player, one of the best players in this league. And Denzel made his looks really, really difficult when he was guarding him today.
Got time for 2 more questions. We'll start with John Niantower.
Greg, what do you think was the difference at the end of the first half when your guys really made that run? It was kind of flipped the game suddenly. What did you see?
I mean, I think defensively, John, we were really good. You know, they shot 35% from the field the first half. You know, if you would have told me coming in here that we were going to have 6 more points in the paint than Providence, and while they had a bunch of offensive rebounds, our second chance points were even. So, you know, one of the things we practice besides blockouts and pursuing the basketball is that if they get it, let's not hang our heads. Let's get our defense set. You know, let's get to a wall up. Let's make them kick it out. Let's run a shooter off the line. So, you know, while those numbers look a little bit skewed, maybe I thought we did a good job of defending after they got that. But, you know, our guys defended. I think they only scored on 3 out of their last, looks like 11 or 12 possessions. So, you know, defense led to some offense there, and things came a little easier and gave us a little momentum. And then, of course, Mitch hits the bomb, you know, right. We're trying to go at something at the basket, and they suck in there and don't understand that Mitch can shoot it from 35 feet. So, great draw up on my part.
Okay, final question for Coach. We'll go to Matt DeMarinis.
You know, you kind of touched on it in your opening remarks here, but, you know, you look at the 3 kind of grinders that you've pulled out here in league play. They've all been kind of on the backs of, you know, stretch after stretch after stretch where you've put stops together at the end of the game as opposed to burying team offensively. But you also mentioned that you want to talk about the mistakes that you guys are making in the end of the game that are keeping you from closing it out maybe a little bit more stress-free. How do you convey that message while you're winning? Isn't that like normally a tough thing to get across?
I think that's a tough task when you have a young team that's not very mature. I think because I have guys that have been around, you know, I think they understand, hey, we've got to fix this. Like, this could have been extremely costly. But, you know, it's you find a way to win in this league, and, you know, we gave them some momentum we didn't need to. You know, Marcus was terrific the entire game on both ends of the floor, and you know, just made an unbelievable play. You know, that's talk about maturity to understand the clock and the situation there at the end and know exactly what he had, and you know, made a perfect pass to Christian to get that dunk. So you know, it's not pretty. It isn't right now, and you know, we didn't use the bench as much today, and I wish I would have got him in there earlier. It's just that the end of the first half, about the time when the bench would normally come back in, that group was rolling so good together, and I didn't want to break him up. And then you get into the guts of the game, and it's hard to make those moves. You want to go with the guys that have been there and done it, and that have proven it. But, you know, we don't win the Xavier game without the bench. So we got to keep those guys focused and moving forward, because we can't do what we're doing without everybody on our roster. And but you know, it's good to see, you know, Marcus and Mitch knock some down today. They had been struggling shooting it a little bit, and obviously all their hard work pays off.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll have Marcus Zegarowski shortly.
Thanks, guys. What's new?
Hell no.
I can go downstairs.
Yeah, Drew there can take you. You can just take him back to the locker room. All right. We are joined now by Marcus Zegarowski. We'll take questions. Again, use the raise hand feature. We'll start with Matt DeMarinis.
Hey, Marcus, just to juxtapose last year in Omaha versus this year today, both times ball in your hand, looking to make a play with the game tied. What was going through your mind in the final seconds today as opposed to what you decided to do based on your read last year?
You know, after they tied the game, I wanted to get it out as quick as possible because I knew they would try to deny me quick. So I think DJ passed it to me, so he got it out quick, and then, you know, I'm just gonna go try and make a play for my teammates, or, you know, if they cover my teammates, try and get one up myself. And, you know, you know, in practice we always teach pace and crossing the court, and that's exactly what I did. I thought, you know, Mitch ran to the corner, Denzel ran really fast, so the court was kind of spread out, and you know, and then Christian was trailing me, so I just kind of got in there. We practiced jump stops, and I got in there, and Christian made a hell of a play, you know, to win the game for us.
All right, next we'll go to John Niatala.
When did you see Christian, Marcus? Like, or did you already you always sort of knew where he was?
Yeah, you know, as soon as I got it, I saw Christian trailing me, so I was in my head. I'm thinking I'm gonna go attack Watson because I knew he would either stay. I knew I could get behind the first guy, so the key was to kind of bring him in, and you know, Christian, you know, was trailing me at the perfect time. You know, he timed it great, and you know, I just kind of saw him in the corner of my eye and just flipped it back to him, and he made a great play.
All right, again, use the raise and lower hand feature. Matt DeMaurice, we'll go back to you.
Hey, Marcus, how worn down were you towards the tail end of that 6-game, 16-day stretch right before the break, and how quick did it take you to get of feeling good into the rhythm of the game today?
Yeah, I won't lie. I was pretty worn down physically, mentally, but you know, that's how everybody is right now. So, you know, taking those few days off, you know, getting my body and getting my mind right was real good. And you know, I just got a great group of guys and great staff just to keep me going, keep me confident. You know, keep you know, tell me keep your head up. You know, it'll start rolling. You know, as a group, and you know, I'm just happy right now we got the win. You know, that's a tough Providence team over there, and you know, now we're on to Seton Hall.
All right, we'll go back to John Niatala.
Marcus, you guys were getting some really good shots in the second half, and obviously making a few, but then maybe with like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes left, it just kind of a little drought. And I wonder what you saw or what you can remember about just kind of that stretch where you're trying to put the game away, but also maybe trying to eat clock too a little bit, just keep control. What happened there?
Yeah. I think we went up like 11 or 13 at one point, and that I think that's a big thing we got to work on is putting the game away. Making plays on both ends of the floor. I think we kind of take a little, like almost like a little a relax button almost, and the key is to just play harder during those stretches. And I think that's what we have to work on in practice.
Matt Foster.
Marcus, how much do close games like these down the stretch that you pull out help prepare you for later in the season when the games mean even more?
Yeah, I think experience is the biggest teacher in life, especially in basketball. You play, after a certain amount of games, certain situations, you start to become a little comfortable in those situations. And I think that's, I feel like my freshman year, I probably wouldn't have, made that play to Christian. But now that since I'm a junior and I've been around it for a little bit, I can, stay calm in the situations and, just try and help, win the game for the team.
All right, our final question. We'll go back to John Niatala.
You guys talk a lot about your defense and making key plays there, but like, did you get a sense that this game was, you're going to have to do a lot defensively to just sort of hang in?
Yeah. Preparing for Providence is pretty, they have a lot of sets, they have a great, big man and Watson where we got to, help our bigs, a good amount. And so the key is to just be physical and rebound and, try and, call out their plays, to the bench. And, our coach said does a great job of letting us know what's coming. So I think that was the difference tonight was our, defense